we're back with another YouTube video. Boom, boom, boom. Before we even hop into anything, I just want to let y'all know that I am in a hotel room next door to a circus. So, sorry in advance for all that noise. I'll try to edit out as much as I can, okay? Okay. Secondly, for all the concerned or nosy folk, I'm in a hotel room in Memphis, here to see my wonderful grandmother. She's in a rehab facility, so just for her to get stronger after a medical scare. So keep her and the family in your prayers. Thank you in advance. Okay, so for today's video, I'm going to be talking to you about something a little personal. Anybody who knows me knows that they know this special major detail about myself. Anybody who asks, I'll tell them this detail, but not a lot of people know this. So, I am 28 years old. This year, I'm turning 29. I'm getting this much closer, see that? To 30. Time is winding down. But anyway, I am 28 and I have never been in a relationship. Never had no boyfriend, right? I'm also, come closer, a virgin. I'm a 28-year-old virgin. And anytime I tell somebody this, I always get the, what? Girl, you crazy. Girl, not me. I could never. What? You ain't, just going in about it. I just be like, calm down, okay? Like, calm down. But when I really think about it, I realize how rare it is because of our culture. Today's generation is very, 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 very focused on sex and sexual activity, physical touch, affection. And honestly, I wouldn't even really call it affection. Like, we do have our select few people who really just love to show their love through physical affection, just hugging and holding hands, kissing, sitting on a person's lap, things like that. But then you have the other people, which makes up a huge number of our population. Those people are just, their main thing is, how quickly can we get into the bedroom? Now, you can charge it to, oh my God, I just love to feel good physically. But it is a bit of a problem when the first thing you think about is how you can have sex with somebody, or how you can pleasure a person physically, or how quickly a person can pleasure you physically. And if it's a bit difficult for you to understand this, let me give you an example. So I literally, I used to be on Facebook dating. And I was talking to this one guy. I'm not gonna say his real name, but I'll call him Larry. I don't know no Black Larrys, but I'm gonna call him Larry. Larry was just so enamored by, I guess, our connection. Like, the fact that we could laugh together, talk together, whatever together. And so he wanted to meet immediately. So we met probably 2 days after we texted, and he was just like, I'm not used to not having sex the day I meet a girl. So I'm like, every girl you've met has given it up the moment y'all entered each other's presence. And he could probably be lying. Let's be real. Some dudes be capping. But he said yeah. And so how well the meeting was going was based upon how quickly I would have snatched my pants off. But I'm just like, dude, like, do you not understand how alarming it is for your whole mood to shift based off whether or not I'm gonna let you hit? So you can guess how well that went, right? He went from being excited, talking about all these different things, all these different subjects, to being silent, lighting 22 blunts while we're in the middle of a conversation. And I use the word conversation lightly. It was really an interview because I was the main one asking questions. But I realized that clearly this wasn't the right situation for me. We were looking for two totally different things. And so I exited stage left, but he still continued to text me to try to hang out, A, B, C, and D. And I continued to tell him that I'm not out here trying to have sex casually or lay up with a dude where there's no type of emotional investment. For one, I'm a Christian, and so I'm not about to be creating soul ties with a person I don't even know. I don't know who you are for real, and I don't know who you done slept with. And so I'm not about to be taking on these different personalities, these different emotional burdens, because you feel like getting your rocks off for the night. That's just not how it's gonna work for me. And so anytime he reaches out to me, I let him know nothing's changed. And apparently nothing's changed on his end either, because it doesn't stick when I tell him that. So he's currently blocked. But anyway, but my whole point of sharing that fact about myself is because I really believe that, number one, the dating pool is very, very difficult to navigate through, but it is even more difficult to navigate through it when you are a Christian woman who is trying to wait until marriage to have sex. This can be for the women who are celibate, like you've already had sex, but now you want to wait until you're married, or for the women who have never had sex, or the men too. It is extremely difficult. It's hard to date in this culture, in this generation, in this time, when you have standards. When you have standards. If you are somebody who don't really care about waiting to marriage, but you still want to wait until you meet the person that's for you, the person who would commit to you the way you want to commit to them, it's still difficult because, again, we are outnumbered by people who simply want to have sex. They want to create this false sense of intimacy, false sense of temporary intimacy marked by pleasure, and then leave and do that again with like multiple people. It's hard. It's hard. And so I am here to simply share my experience and to hopefully offer some type of encouragement, because it's easy to become hopeless as a result of failed connections. When you see yourself investing emotionally, time-wise, physically with somebody who only wants to invest, and not really even invest, but who only wants to deal with you physically, here and there, it's difficult to not become hopeless. And in hopelessness is where the enemy really messes with someone's mind, trying to convince that person that God has forgotten about you, or God doesn't really care about you, or God's intention is to keep you lonely, and because of that, perhaps you should lower your standards. Like, the enemy tries to trick people in hopelessness. And so I want to be one of those people who stops the enemy in his tracks by being honest about my experience, and shedding some light on the truth, which is, it is not God's intention that any man be, that any man is alone or isolated, so that's just my pre-spiel on the matter. But like I said before, yes, I'm a virgin. I am 28, about to be 29. In a lot of my friend groups, I am the only virgin. Amongst my family members, the family members that I hang with, I am the only virgin. Not calling any of my family members whores or anything, not calling any of them irresponsible. Some of them are, but not all of them are irresponsible. But I am the only virgin amongst the crew But then I have like a couple of friends, maybe two, who are virgins as well. And they're also waiting until marriage to, get jiggy. But my experience in the dating world has been shambolic. I'm not gonna lie to you. It has been very shambolic. High school, it wasn't that hard, I liked a few people liked me. It didn't really go anywhere because everybody just was so laser focused on being the man. So we're gonna skip past high school. We're also gonna skip past college too, because it wasn't too much going on there either. I had probably one crush, and all we did was flirt here and there. Didn't really go anywhere. He had his own things going on and was super, super active. Not calling him, but he had his own thing going on. So, we didn't really mesh for real in that aspect. But fast forward to after college, I would say probably around 2015, that's when I really tried to get myself out there, dating wise. And I had a goal. My goal was to lose my virginity the summer of 2015. And I had my crew who was committed to helping me do it. Like, okay, G, we gonna make sure you get this going, that going. We gonna hook you up with this dude, and we gonna see where it go, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, it didn't work out, but it was funny, though. It was funny. It was extremely funny because every dude I connected to literally was just like, I'm not trying to be bogus. I'm not. But at that point, 2015, this was still college. I'm sorry. This was still college. But I was on my way out. I had an internship. I had a job. I was in college. I had a car. I was top notch. Character-wise, I was kind of whack. But, like, accomplishment-wise, like, I was doing it big. I was about to... I feel like I was, like, at the top of the world. Like, I was killing the game. I talked to 4 dudes that summer. 3 of them I connected to before I even came back home for the summer, and 1 I talked to toward the end, probably like July. 1 dude I knew from the first conversation it wasn't gonna work because I didn't like his grammar. I didn't like how he talked, and I also didn't like how quickly he made me his girlfriend in his mind. So yeah. The second dude, he just was allergic to working. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, he didn't want to work. He didn't want to go back to school. He also didn't want to use condoms. And so when he told me, oh, I'm allergic to latex, I was like, oh, well, it was good talking to you though. But now he got like 6 kids. But like, there was no way on God's green earth I was going to be having sex with you with no condom. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You thought I was about to be having kids and being hit with you and your mama? So that didn't work out. The third dude, he couldn't spell either, but he was really sweet and really cute. But he also lied a lot too. So that didn't work out. He's currently thick now. So, you know, I've always been thicker, bigger, but like, I like skinnier dudes, but now he's thick. And he got kids. It's probably the daddy way, but you know, he's doing well. Happy. Come on, let's give it up to him. So that didn't work out. Fourth dude, he didn't have a condom either. We hung out. It was actually a group of us kicking it. I can't say where because I would get in trouble. But we were kicking it, and he said he didn't bring a condom. So I told him he had to go. Huh? Why do people keep trying to trap me? I think all of these guys had like the goal to trap me, like with a baby and with them. By the grace of God, I had wisdom even then, when I had all these goals to do dumb stuff, I had wisdom too, though. And I said, Jayana, you got some major things you're trying to accomplish. Come on now. So, yeah. None of that worked out. Fast forward to, I would say 2018 maybe, when I left to go to the UK for school. I told myself that because I was embarking on the kind of journey that I had never seen anybody else take on, and because I was going into foreign territory, literally, that I could not afford to lose my focus because of dating or a man or romance or whatever. So I decided not to date at all. So anytime somebody asked me out, I said yeah, but I didn't show up. I didn't show up, or I just ghosted the person because there was no way. There's no way. I already saw where that could have went had I actually like gotten too involved. So I just said nah. Fast forward to when did I officially start like trying to talk to people? Ooh, 2023. Oh, 2023. When I re-entered the dating world via Facebook dating, I started talking to a couple of guys. One of them, we hung out one time and I knew we would never hang again. Another, we hung out, but he didn't have a job, and he I don't know, it was something off about him. Oh, he lied too. So then another dude lied as well, but he lied about a lot of things. A lot of things that, you know, when you lie about something, or not you, but when somebody lies to you about something you didn't even ask about, like you didn't even have to volunteer the information, you just decided to lie, I guess because you enjoy lying. So that was what was going on with this guy. He was lying about things I did not ask about. He would go MIA here and there. He stood me up multiple times when we were supposed to go out. If you heard that, that was the ice melting. Sorry. But he would stand me up. Like, we were supposed to go out one night and we were going to meet at 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock roll around, he texts me with some shenanigans, and I'm just like, dude, nah. He lied about coming to see me where I live multiple times. The number of kids he has. A lot. A lot. He lied about a lot. But even within all that lying, he still expressed how badly he wanted to, like, do me. If you hear that, that's somebody laughing. So, but yes, he still wanted to have intercourse with me. I guess maybe he thought I was dumb or something, or I lacked common sense, but there was no way. There was no way me and him were gonna do anything with that kind of lying going on. You can't even show up. You're not even consistent. Why would I even, come on, logic, guys, logic. The next guy was the one I talked about earlier, where he thought that because other women had given in to having sex with him the first night, that I would do the same thing. But again, I'm not everybody else. There has to be way more happening to even tempt me. And I'm talking about, you have to impress me to make me even think like, maybe I could, you know. And I've never had that experience. So, and it's been 28 years. So if nobody has gotten to me in 28 years, what makes you think you're going to? So, plus he had the attitude. He was very sassy. So things didn't work out. Ultimately, all of that has led me here. There have been other situations in the mix with guys who have disappointed me, who haven't been able to keep their promises, guys who have lied, guys who just have a bad reputation. They got a lot going on. Well, things just did not work out. But I decided to just stick to the select few who were just ridiculous. Ultimately, I'm single. Still a virgin, still waiting till marriage, which I feel is the best thing for me because I find it to be I think it is a major thing to have sex with somebody. And maybe it's because, well, I believe it's because I've never experienced that part of life. I haven't. That is foreign territory for me. So is romance, so is dating, so is being in a relationship. But I also know that there are some things that happens between two people who decide to do that, especially if they do it over time. And investing or committing to something like that with people who don't have the capacity to uphold that type of commitment or carry the responsibility of being with somebody in that way. There was no way. I know I keep saying there was no way, but there's no way that I would feel comfortable doing that, not knowing where your head is at. I can't even tell you how many people I've talked to who truly believe that they were in a relationship with someone who wasn't in a relationship with them. These are people who were buying a guy things or taking him to places, listening to all his problems, being his counselor, supporting him, getting his hair cut, giving him money. And all the guy did was come over, pleasure them, have sex with them, lay up with them, enjoy the perks of this relationship, and then leave. Barely checking in on them. Barely want to talk with them. Barely want to spend money with, I'm sorry, not spend money. Barely wanting to spend time with them or spend money on them. Or simply talk to them for the sake of talking to them. Doing things that they loved or enjoyed doing. You know, like these guys were not showing up. They were not present. They were not being men. All they were doing was taking. And then when they would have sex, this would cause the female to believe certain things that weren't true. Their emotions would become mixed and confused because on one end they will understand or see the logic that, oh, because this guy isn't showing up in all these ways, that I shouldn't view him as a boyfriend. But on the other end, we have great sex and I feel good after he leaves. So clearly we supposed to be together. You know? So it's these guys just, and females do the same thing. I'm not just gonna speak on guys. I'm not a guy, so that's why I'm like speaking from a female's perspective. But there are women who do the same thing, just creating this false sense of intimacy with people and creating these ties with people for nothing. So then when they leave and go do it with 50 other people, you have this one person who's still connected to you and looking to fill this void that you keep leaving and you keep enlarging because you can't leave them alone. Or not that you can't, you just won't, which is so unfair and selfish. So for me, no, I haven't had sex, but I have connected to guys who I thought I would eventually have a friendship or a relationship with. But they would just ghost me or hurt me, lie, something, and then move on like it was nothing. Which showed me that, man, if I would have had sex with you, I would have really felt like trash because you would have just left me high and dry like you're doing now. So with all these guys who I've encountered, I've realized that just due to the small instances, the surface level things that have happened, that if I would have invested myself into the situations physically, I would have felt terrible after. Because sexual activity with somebody is, I believe, one part of the highest level of intimacy that you could share with somebody. And just me doing that with people who, again, like I said before, didn't have the capacity or the willingness, I would not have felt okay. I would have not been okay. I think I would have spent more time recovering and healing over and over and over and over again. And I think that that's why so many women right now are exhausted with the thought of even pursuing romance again or being open to dating again or whatever, because they're tired from having to recover over and over and over and heal over and over and over, because guy one was doing so well for 3 months and then he show up with a baby, and then now I'm sad, and then okay, now I'm ready again, and then I meet a guy who ends up lying to me and stealing from me. Now I gotta heal again. Guy 3, oh, I love him so much, he's so kind, he's so sweet, he keeps showing up for me, and then boom, he tells me he likes men. Like, that's a lot to have to recover from, even for somebody who's 72 at this point. Like, time and time and time again, you're opening your heart up just for it to be wounded after a while. Now you have to spend time healing the wound. And then when you get into a new relationship, that doesn't mean that the wound is healed all the way. And so now you have this half-healed heart, and then it gets hurt again. And so now you're hurt double time. Like, that's a lot to have to go through. That's a lot to have to go through. And I can only imagine how that feels when you're like having sex with somebody as well. So, yeah, I'm not trying to speak from this high and mighty position or anything. You know, I've had my moments where I really wanted to take part in that. But at the end of the day, too much is at stake for me to jump into that kind of commitment. I can't lose that part of myself for nothing, which is why marriage for me is the best option. Allowing God to be at the forefront of my partnership with someone feels like the best option, because there's something very protective about that. God has our best interests at heart. He knows what is best for us. He knows what is most purposeful for us. And I'm not saying that, oh, if I get married to the man that God designed for me, that we won't ever break up. My hope is that, you know, we'll stay together until death, but things happen. But all things work together for the good of those who love God and are called according to his purpose. So even if it didn't work out, eventually all things will work out for me, because I did things according to his will, according to his way concerning my life. So I would be okay at the end of the day. So that is why it's best for me to wait. It's best for me to wait. And I encourage anybody who is serious about preserving those major parts of yourself, your soul, your heart, your well-being, your peace, your purpose, I would encourage you to wait as well, because God has someone out there who is for you. He's made specifically for you, for your purpose, for what you're trying to pursue, for what you want to build. And I believe it is much better to spend your time trying to build patience than trying to rebuild your heart, rebuild your peace, rebuild your self-esteem, your security. You know what I mean? Yes, building patience is difficult, but patience versus having to heal a broken heart, which one would you rather spend your time doing? Which one would you rather invest in? I would rather invest in rebuilding patience, because patience is a virtue. So the journey in doing all of that is going to be rewarding from point A to point Z. You feel me? You feel me? And these are conversations I have with myself a lot. I want to be in a relationship. I want to experience romance now, but I don't want to have to experience trial and error in this aspect anymore, because it is exhausting. It is very exhausting. And so to the women and the men who are tired of being the good guy, the good woman, this great person who keeps getting hurt, I admonish you to pray that God gives you the patience and the grace and the wisdom as you wait for the person he has designed for you. And that he also gives you instruction during the wait. Because in the wait, it isn't always about preparing for the person who God has for you. The wait is designated for all things purpose-wise. So that's your marriage, that's business, that's ministry, that's mental, that's the call on your life, that is your assignments, work, all of that. Healing, all of that. All of that is important. It isn't just about becoming the person for your person. It's about becoming the person God has called you to be. So pray that prayer. And in the wait, you might bump into the person you're supposed to be with. Or in the wait, you might build something that earns you millions of dollars. Or in the wait, you might become super at peace with being single. You don't know, because you haven't actually had to wait purposely. So pray it and do it. I'm doing it. I'm praying it. It isn't easy, but it is rewarding. So yes, I'm Jay. I'm a 28-year-old virgin waiting till marriage. But I'm in peace with it. I'm healing. And ain't nobody keeping me up at night. Bless his name. Hallelujah. Okay. So, to anybody who's struggling, I'm praying for you. You're not alone. If you need somebody to pray with even more, or you need an encouraging word, I'm here for you. Feel free to inbox me or DM me. I'll definitely be available. You can find, sorry about my nail. You can find my Instagram name right here. I'm gonna put it right here in this box. But before you go, make sure you like and subscribe to this video. All right? Okay. Bye.